This is Steve Silva for the Boston Globe and Boston.com, coming to you from the White House, where the Red Sox just wrapped up a ceremony with President Obama. It was a moving ceremony. President Obama spoke about what the team meant to the city throughout the marathon bombings, right through to the current death of 2 firefighters in Boston. The Red Sox got up there. David Ortiz took a selfie with the president. And we also heard from Johnny Gomes, David Ortiz, John Farrell, and Koji Uehara. Let's take a look at the festivities at the White House today.
I think for the nation as a whole, there was something about this particular squad that was special and will go down in history. Not just because they went from worst to first, but because they symbolized the grit and the resilience of one of America's iconic cities during one of its most difficult moments. Nearly 1 year ago, hundreds of thousands gathered on a beautiful spring day to run and cheer the historic Boston Marathon, but a senseless act of terror turned celebration into chaos and joy into anguish. 4 young people lost their lives. Hundreds were injured. The city was rocked, but under the guiding hand of somebody who I consider one of the finest public servants that America has known, Mayor Tom Menino of Boston, who's here today, and his lovely wife. Boston stood resolute. Boston stood resolute and unbowed and unbroken, and as the smoke cleared, we gained inspiration from the injured, who gamely tackled their recovery. Those who were running and walking again, including the young woman who's returned to professional dancing with a prosthetic leg. We took heart from the first responders who put their lives at risk and bravely ran toward danger. People like Officer Richard Donahue of the MBTA Transit Police, who was shot and nearly killed that night. After months of rehab, Richard is walking again and keeping up with his 18-month-old son, and so we're proud to have Richard here today. Give him a big round of applause. Today, our hearts are in Boston again. We got the families of firefighters Michael Kennedy and Lieutenant Edward Walsh, who gave their lives protecting others from a massive blaze last week. And their sacrifice, like the sacrifice of those made last year, remind us of the selfless courage of everyday heroes who put their lives on the line to help others. The first responders, the brave citizens, the resolute victims of these tragedies, they're all Boston strong. And ultimately, that's what this team played for last season. And every man behind me did his part to keep the team rolling. There was Xander Bogaerts, the upstart rookie who took over at third base and didn't let up. The tested veterans like my fellow Hawaiian, Shane Victorino, and Mike Napoli, who came in during the offseason and shook off the rust and the injuries to secure win after win. Lackey and Lester, the heart of a rotation that upped their game and started begging their manager, John Farrell, to stay in for 6 and 7 and 8 innings. And of course, the legend, the only man to play for all 3 championship teams, the biggest bat in the dugout, Big Papi. Big Papi. That's what I'm talking about. Love this guy. Even a White Sox fan can appreciate these guys. But for all the big names, this was never a single superstar's team. If you look at the numbers, no pitcher won more than 15 games, no batter hit more than 30 home runs, and yet they led the majors in runs scored, won the most games in the American League, had the second best ERA in their hard-hitting division. So this team never lost more than 3 games in a row all season. They just had a lot of heart. And it was that consistency that brought the Red Sox into the postseason. But it was a drive to do more for the city that had their backs that took them on to win in the World Series. With the rallying symbol of Boston Strong mowed into the outfield and sewed into the uniforms, the Red Sox took the field against Tampa and Detroit with the full weight of their city behind them. When they found themselves in Game 4 of the World Series, down 2-1 against St. Louis, the faithful cheered as Johnny Gomes knocked in a 3-run homer out of the park, breaking open a tie and giving Red Sox Nation the signal they weren't done yet. Big Papi let it rip, earned the World Series MVP. Koji Uehara, the third choice closer who'd been signed as an afterthought, capped one of the best postseasons in Major League history with his signature splitter that sank straight into David Ross's mitt to win the World Series 4-2. And then Koji just looked so happy after every game, didn't he? Jumping up on people. So they all stormed the field, readied the duck boats, but this was more than just a trophy and parade. With every game they played, the Sons of Fenway never forgot what it meant to wear the Boston uniform. When they visited bombing victims in the hospital, when they played ball with kids getting cancer treatment, when they started a program to help wounded warriors get treatment at Mass General. These guys were saying, we're all on the same team. And I think Big Papi put it better and more colorfully than any of us could. I won't repeat his quote, but the point is, Boston and the Red Sox were one this season. And we knew last year, even as we mourned the lost and cared for the wounded and resolved to carry on, that the moment would come when the Sox would be champions again, and the crowds would gather for a parade down Boylston once more. And that's exactly what happened. That's how this team helped to Boston to heal, and true to that spirit, in just a few weeks, something else we resolved last year will come to pass. On the third Monday in April, the world will return to Boston and run harder than ever and cheer louder than ever for the 118th Boston Marathon. That will happen. Bottom line is, I'm proud of these guys. As a baseball fan, I appreciate their comeback season, but more importantly, as president, I'm grateful for their character and their embrace of the essential role they played in the spirit of that city.
Yes, sir.
That looks pretty good.
44 president.
It looks like it might fit him better than me, though. All right, come on, let's get a good picture here.
Yeah.
Come on.
Actually, do you mind if I take my own?
Oh, he wants to do a selfie.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's the Big Papi selfie. Come on.
Got him. Yeah, baby. Ching.
Yep. Retweet.
Feels good, man. I mean, you know, you don't get that opportunity every day to share a little bit with the president and take a selfie with him.
Papi, are you the four-leaf clover that keeps getting this team the World Series championship?
I don't know, man. I mean, this is a good, this is a work with that you got to do it as a group, you know. I mean, everybody do a little bit of something for us to be a champion, and that's all that matters.
He approved. He made sure to tell me he liked it. He thanked me for his and the team signing it, and he definitely approved. He made sure to look me right in the eye. It's a nice jacket. Yep. Yep. No big deal. Yeah, I mean, just a true, you know, great opportunity to share this with all the teammates, and then as well as all the people behind the scenes. You know, we shared a lot of failure, a lot of success, but to really cap it off here, you know, here at the White House is pretty special. Pretty patriotic person, you know, whether it's my outfit or, you know, what I stand for. So didn't want it to be too much of a distraction. I hope it's not. But, you know, just, you know, true blessed for my freedom and everything, you know, that the flag stands for.